How's it going, Radical viewers? Gaddy right back into it with another Grim Rolls Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition session of the Esterisle Cartography Guild homebrew. Whew. We, sadly took a break last week because one of us was visiting family out in Alaska, pardon my English. Apparently I can't English today. And I actually had come down with a bit of food poisoning, so I also kind of felt like I needed to skip the session and just sleep it off. Oh, lordy. But we're back this week, God willing. And Lord knows what all's going to happen. We're literally a minute from what I believe is game time today, so let's go ahead, jump into the Discord, and apparently just wait for everybody. Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
I was worried for a moment, my headset wasn't working.
Me too.
Quiet day.
Can you believe this guy
No,
bathing?
Bathing when you have D&D. I don't clean myself ever.
I
never
play
bathe.
D&D, so I don't have to bathe.
I never bathe on days I have D&D.
Don't expect nerds to bathe.
What does this bathe you speak of?
I usually like after the day is over, you know, like end of the day.
Nathan's got to be
Kill
nice and
myself
moist
immediately.
to enjoy D&D.
Moist.
I don't like that. Don't like that. Nathan can remain dry, please.
Matt, I just have to ask, why?
Why not?
That was there from last game when we brought a bunch of goats with us to the boat.
But those
Oh
are
my
cows.
god, I forgot about the fucking goats.
The meat gifts.
The goats never forget.
Yeah, that's what those are from.
Goats have a really good memory, like elephants.
Good. Does that... Hold on. How much RAM does your boat have?
Good girl.
It's about half and half.
I didn't even like... I like really, for real, did not even think about that until after I said it. That's
I got like 50 pounds of RAM.
oh, that's pretty good. Maybe, I don't know. You ate a few.
Are you high, Michael? What is wrong with your voice?
I'm laughing.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of this? I said something funny and it made me laugh.
Ah, that sounds like you, making yourself laugh.
Yeah.
Wish to call you Tyler.
The best part is I didn't even know what I was saying was that big of a joke.
Hmm.
In any case, now that we are all here, so last time we got together, you guys had set sail eastward in the direction of a spider's thread suspected to be placed by the guiding hand of Nisharor herself. With Heinrich's help in guiding the ship, you managed to find an island that seems to be the source of Eros' presence in this direction. Getting to the island, you found that it was populated by both Sky Dragonborn and Kuatoa, a fish-like people that you have noticed are more or less subservient to their Dragonborn counterparts. After a brief talk with their leader, Avarice, you discovered that you are not the first visitors of this island, but several months ago, Chalvin and his crew also stepped foot here, promising trade with the locals. After a brief talk about the tower that is supposedly here, Avarice told you that it was forbidden to step foot there, but invited you all to town all the same, telling you that they were already preparing a feast in celebration of new arrivals on the island. You all stepped away to discuss what plans you had for the island, settling on the idea that you'd try to get the islanders to allow you to the shrine in hopes of destroying it. And I believe we're now picking up, you guys step foot back on land, where the guards of Ardova are now taking you up into town. Now the town itself is a few miles out. But over the course of like the couple of hours it takes to get there, you get a good look at the island itself, as well as many of the people that live here. This side of the island, despite its surroundings, is comprised of modest hills which hold a good amount of farmland. Unlike many of the islands that you've seen, there's not a lot in the way of fruit to forage. And although this might just be deforestation of the woods surrounding the town, as to make room for the town and its farm-based repurposing, even looking out on the island above, a majority of the trees seem to be barren. Moreover, despite this area being developed to a certain degree, like farmland, a township, and other signs of proper civilization, what there isn't a lot of is outward building. Like usually, like even in an island of this size, you would have multiple like smaller villages, even just as people like disagreed and how they want to be ruled and things like that. But either they've managed to stay so cohesive as to create this one single larger township, or something else is going on. As the rockier crags to the north and south of the town, they look rather wild, unkept, mostly just wilderness. So everyone's just kind of gathered in this central area. The farmland itself is tended to by the fish folk, overwatched by the Dragonborn. Roundabout now, it's probably closer towards the end of the day. Fish folk look like they've been worked quite hard, and each individual farm site has a range of working conditions. Some have water lines where the fish folk can rehydrate themselves, run by their own kind. Others, however, you can see like a worker falls over, a dragonborn kind of runs over and shouts a few words at him and splashes some water on his face, and the other workers just keep working and maybe even speed up a little bit. Lucian, although this is undoubtedly not exactly what you had gone through previously, you would recognize these sorts of treatments. It seems that these servants are in fact more akin to slaves than anything else.
What the fuck did you just say? You call them slaves?
Oh god, you said the S word.
It looks to be.
This creates a very easy solution for our moral dilemma of how to get in the
I
temple.
don't think murder is the wrong option.
I'm not sure it does. Looking a little further, not quite having reached town, over from that craggy peak to the north, where the river seems to originate from, you guys see a familiar tower starting to poke itself away, half covered by the cliff at its side, just peeking out from over the mountains. Lucian, as soon as you lay eyes on the structure, you get this feeling that you're being watched, and a flash of those 5 eyes down in the deepest depths of the sea just fills your vision. You suddenly just feel this pain in your chest, akin to the feeling that you had whenever the chimera pierced your heart.
Well, that's not good.
You immediately fall to your knees, hand on your chest, blood pouring directly from your heart like a fountain. But to everyone else, you just fall over, clearly in pain, but no blood, no wound, nothing.
Okay.
By the time that they notice you, you sort of come to. The feeling immediately subsides. Obviously, some sort of illusion or hallucination.
Lucian, are you alright?
Suddenly I don't really like the idea of being here all that much.
Are you afraid of dying?
I mean, I think anyone would be.
Not unless you keep coming back.
Yeah, about to say, for
Yeah.
you, death is just another Tuesday, isn't it?
I mean, it still fucking hurts, like that just did. Ugh.
Yeah, and what just happened? You look like you had a heart attack. Can you get those?
I don't know, blood pouring out from my chest and his eyes up on that. Didn't like it very much. Kind of hurt.
One of the guards kind of walks towards you, kind of gets down and pulls out a flask and hands you. It's it seems like water.
Yeah, I'll drink it. Did we establish if these guys know common? Because I'm gonna talk to them in common. They don't know common, do they?
No. They speak, but it's not a language that you recognize.
Right, okay, well then
You cut out, buddy.
Must
I
be
don't know.
another heart
if he
attack.
understands.
Hello, Kale?
Hello?
You kind of cut out a lot.
I think he just cut out again.
I might have just cut out again.
Oh my god.
Canadian internet, everybody.
If you want me to cast tongues on you, just screech quietly. Okay, he doesn't want it.
Well, to say that may be
Okay.
a bad idea.
Okay, we're switching to my data, so maybe it'll be better.
Seems like it so far.
Okay. What was the last thing I said then?
We
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
You broke up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay, well, I
you
was going to
asked if
say
they spoke
thank you,
common.
Draconic.
They don't seem to understand Draconic.
Damn. Okay. Well,
They're dragonborn. That can't be real.
That's
Can't be
weird.
right.
they're not real Dragonborn. They're fake.
From what you make an intelligence check.
I'll make an intelligence check.
Not
I
you,
have
Gwydion. Well, both of you.
What?
Fuck it.
I'm the one speaking. Oh, right,
Yeah,
fine,
but Gwydion's
fine.
a smart
I
one.
don't. What am I making a check for? I didn't do anything.
It's intelligence.
Go on.
Just an int check. Because you're smart, right?
You hear me
Yeah.
speak the dragon language?
I'm so smart that I took all the intelligence skills, but now I don't get to make skill checks anymore.
That's not true. So with a 15, Gwydion, you would ask that can't possibly be the case. They're Dragonborn, right? Ardovan, the language that they are speaking, seems to be derived from Draconic, but it seems to be a little bit further past. They've been isolated long enough for it to be its own standalone language.
Is there any mutual intelligibility there, or is it just too far gone?
Maybe like an odd word here and there, but nothing that.
So it's like Latin
like a
to
French
English.
person speaking to a Quebecois.
Right. Like sometimes you look at Latin, you're like, wait a minute, I think I know what that means, even though you don't know Latin. Yeah.
It's like me trying to speak to Nathan, who's from Michigan.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean?
What did
I'm
you
from
say?
Alabama, so we're
I
kind of
mean,
far
it
apart.
has almost nothing to do with his location and everything to do with just who he is as a person.
Michael?
Nathan.
Tyler.
Grim.
You cut out heavily, Michael.
Good, honestly. I was insulting you.
Okay.
I-
Do you want to
I-
repeat
You
yourself?
didn't cut out.
Nah,
You
I'm
just
fine.
don't wanna Acknowledge it.
Well, Lucian, you get back up and like
Right, yeah.
you guys continue walking again. You do finally arrive at the town. You see it's actually rather large. Many of the buildings are multiple floors of living areas by the looks, mostly for the less wealthy. Others still are larger homes and mansions for wealthier families. It would seem that they've had a real vested interest in building up instead of out, as there's plenty of space for new development along the outskirts if they wanted to delve further into the island to do so. But they just fucking haven't.
Interesting.
Yeah. By the time that you actually get to the town, the sun is already set, and the fish folk are starting to lay out entire banquet tables in the town square around a stone statue of a long, wingless dragon, very similar in nature to those that live here. It would seem that you've arrived just in time for the feast in your honor. We're going to play a little bit fast and loose with the time. You all eventually get caught up in the feast. Fresh bread has been baked. Fresh fish has been prepared alongside the myriad other dishes ranging from something close to mashed potatoes, but it tastes strangely of almonds and honey, to a savory pie with what seems to be some sort of gourd acting as the primary filling.
I like jacket.
Something like that. And you wash it all down with a sweet and grassy beverage of nondescript origin, but non-disputable alcohol content.
Woohoo!
Eventually, Avarice moves over toward you, and at some point in the night, checks up on you guys and how you guys are doing. And again, like, although his mouth is obviously not making the sorts of sounds, you guys understand him in common. So, how are you enjoying your feast?
It's great. Beautiful food.
Thank you. The last visitors were a little apprehensive at first.
Yeah, if I know them. Not the kindest people.
Well, I suppose they were kind to us, but they did not tell you about us, but, although they promised they would. Well, I believe we had some business we needed to discuss.
Right, well, I for one, have plenty of questions.
Ask away.
First of all, how long have you guys been here?
Forever, as far as we can tell. To be more... The way that we understood it, we had been here since the dawn of time. Although there have been some who have questioned that since the arrival of your friends.
Okay.
In any case, we don't have record.
Okay. So why exactly is that tower forbidden? What does it mean to you?
Well, to tell you why the tower is forbidden, it's easier to tell you the story of the island.
Okay.
How it came to be as it is. At the dawn of time, our island was created by Sodenak, the great sky dragon.
Okay.
He created it to be his home, and soon begot children with those that had lived here with him, eventually giving birth to our kind, and we worshipped him since time immemorial. But we were not alone on this island. We shared it with the Kuatoa, and they had a god of their own, the god in the tower.
Oh no.
Sodenak gave us all only one commandment. He gave us the whole island, only as long as we steer clear of the tower and its god.
Okay.
With this commandment at heart, we lived in harmony for generations. Until, that is, one of our kind got lost in the forest. As soon as Sodenak learned of his disappearance, he flew out in search. But he was not in the caves to the north shore. He was not in the mountains of the south shore. And soon it became clear where he had gone. In his confusion, out in the woods to the north, he had stumbled upon the tower. Sodenak quickly made his way to the tower to save his lost sheep, but when he got there, he was struck by a bolt of lightning from the tower. The bolt pierced his heart, and from his mouth spewed gallons upon gallons of water. The god of the tower had caused him to drown. Sodenak died at the top of the highest peak. From his lungs spouted a river that flows to this day. The Kuatoa grew so ashamed of what their god had done, they had pledged themselves to serve us until their misdeeds had been made up for. And no one since has stepped foot toward the tower, for fear that they too would meet the fate of Sodenak.
Damn, alright. Okay. So, these Kuatoa, you called them? They're not slaves, are they?
Heavens, no, it's more indentured servitude. They view themselves as owing us debt and paying for it.
Would they be free to not owe you debt if they decided that it was paid? Or is this like a,
I would imagine so. They haven't complained thus far.
Okay, alright. Long and short of it is, we need to go to that tower and attempt to destroy it. Because of a prophecy that involves the god of the Kuatoa. His name is Aroth. He's trying to come back to this mortal realm after being sealed away, and there are many towers just like that one, and each one acts as a seal. And if a ritual is performed at the seal, then it can be broken. And that is what our quote-unquote friends who came here before have been doing. They've been breaking the seals.
Probably could have left quite a bit of that out, but okay.
I see no reason to be dishonest.
Afraid I cannot allow you to enter that tower.
Okay.
It is a forbidden place for a reason. Plus, if it only requires a ritual being done there, then it seems to me that us being here is rather beneficial. No one in existence will ever step foot in that tower again.
Can I
This much is
insight
known.
check this fucker?
On that part? Yeah, roll insight. I mean, he definitely, that's the truth. He definitely seems like he does not want anyone to enter that tower.
Okay.
Yeah. You feel it is genuinely forbidden.
So,
Yeah.
out of my own personal sheer curiosity, this sky dragon god of yours, what color was it by any chance? Did they happen to say?
We believed he looked much as we do. Lambert, you would actually... A sky dragon is a type of dragon in this world. They're like there's a statue in the center of the town of essentially like a Chinese styled dragon.
Right, I kind of figured that much. Just like an offshoot of
yeah.
chromatic and metallic and
Yeah,
all the other
their scales are like white and gray and kind of like a cloud, like a cloudy sky.
crap. Okay. I just wanted to eliminate any possible correlation with the island we will not name.
Yeah, that was a solar dragon from
Okay.
what you understand.
After a brief bit of study of, this is a dragon I don't think existed until today. Oh, they did at one point.
We cut a lot of that.
Oops.
Fair enough. Well, seems like this tower is safe.
I can think of no safer place. We will prevent anyone from entering it for as long as we are here.
Must say, that is very reassuring to hear.
I'm happy to hear that. Perhaps we can also discuss these trade deals that we had spoke of earlier.
Right. So, I think it would be best probably just exclude Maryland from this. Because they're not expansionist right now, but they're also an empire, so...
Not know what that means.
Talking to the rest of the group when I say that.
I must say, Lambert's actually kind of like furiously writing down notes about all this because, this is essentially a nigh untouched civilization of Dragonborn and Kuo-toa that has formed a symbiotic relationship over years based on the legend that their god told one of them no. One of them accidentally went to the Kuo-toa god tower, and a river came from it.
Yeah, a little fucked, isn't it?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, it's interesting enough for Lambert to be taking notes on that. So,
Definitely
I don't know
not
if these
something
guys
we should
are our
investigate
enemies
later tonight when everyone's asleep.
Definitely not something I had written entire things about.
We'll
No.
walk in there and Michael's just like, it's empty. There's nothing in here.
no, there are doors and hallways, and nothing but doors and hallways.
Cruel. I write better adventures than Wizards of the Coast.
Person drive.
I can't
stops you.
say that in good conscience, but
You did.
better
We
than
have
that
it
piece of
recorded.
shit.
I'm about to say,
That's true.
better
We're
than
gonna-
that one Candlekeep thing. Yeah, definitely better so far.
I'm
I
sending
don't
this to
know
Chris
if you can
Perkins right
pull a
now.
Strahd or some shit, but I mean,
I will say
fuck
that
it.
yours starts a
I'm
lot
at-
better than like Curse of Strahd or Lost Mines of Fendelver. I will grant that easily. Their startup quests are usually ass.
Death House, bad. Rest of Curse of Strahd,
Fantastic.
probably wonderful. Better probably than what I usually do.
Lucian,
Anyway.
do you have the nautical charts to the port at Kara?
Oh yeah, I always keep them on me.
Well, that's
I would have brought a map with me because
Yeah.
we are talking about trade.
Your cartographer.
We discuss with the gentleman here how to actually get to what kind of boats did I see these people have?
None.
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 Yeah, no, they wouldn't have. Yeah.
So how exactly would our people be the ones bringing the boats to deliver and drop off cargo?
Well, yes, I would imagine. We have tried, creating these boats. Even before, your friends came, even adapting what our designs had been previous, to the ones that we had seen. But it seems that every time that we set one sail, it, inevitably sinks in the bay.
Well, I know a thing or two about shipbuilding, so maybe I could help you out.
Certainly be a great service to us. Beyond that, we have plenty of the forest land here for us to facilitate the construction of these things. But prior to that, yes, it would require some of your people bringing in goods and taking them back with them.
How long was the trip here, Michael?
17 days.
17 days. Shit. Do they have days? What's their timekeeping like? What's your timekeep? How do you keep time?
Strangely enough, the exact same as yours.
What a
All right,
coincidence.
perfect.
Weird.
How strange.
Oh,
What
yes,
an odd coincidence.
the sun is
Missed
at
it.
2 talons high.
Takes about 3 weeks by boat to get here, and then 3 more weeks to get back. If you look on the map, this is the very long distance between this island and the mainland, or the main islands, I guess.
Lucian, do you speak Elven?
No,
I know you don't speak Halfling. Damn it.
I don't. No.
You
I speak
silly,
common, giant,
silly boy.
draconic,
Now,
and
Ten, you would probably know. Harass is probably under the effects of a tongue spell, because
Oh, did I
you
place
guys
it on
can-
him or someone else?
It seems that either he placed it on himself or one of his kind put it on him.
Okay, I'm gonna whip out my finger, point it towards Lucian, and I'm gonna cast message. If you're offering your services to them, you should try to negotiate some sort of exchange.
I mean, they seem pretty
Okay.
steadfast, but that's the idea.
You can't reply to this message.
I'm replying out loud to you. I'm looking at you as I say this. What's So you speak almost. It's similar to the language that I know dragons speak, and I can speak that language, but it's not quite the same.
Yes. We've had to develop means by which to communicate. One of the folk that had come here earlier had told us of this particular use of magic. Our grasp of magic is more limited than what your Esterisle has mastered, but your friends had shown us more or less how to speak with you, and apparently all others.
A very handy trick it is.
Indeed, especially for negotiations such as this.
So there's absolutely nothing that we could potentially do to be allowed up to that tower.
Sounds
I'm afraid
like it's
not.
well protected.
It sounds like we may as well just leave if there's no work to be done here.
Yeah.
But then there's my other worries. I imagine that the group that came here previous will be persistent in their efforts to get into that tower.
This rings true.
And I suspect that they will invite trouble. My friend Lucian mentioned that Maryland is an empire, expansionist, although not now, they could be in the future. And, well, I simply think that the ones who were here last are hiding their true intentions when they offered open trade. I think that Maryland might get more aggressive over time and eventually forward their goals, unknowingly, of getting into the tower.
They're just, by this point, a very powerful group who is blessed by the god from that tower, because he, of course, wants them to bring him back. So I mostly worry for your safety and the safety of your people.
That is harrowing news.
It seems to me, if we do nothing about this tower here, that later on, this group will come try to take it. If we do something about this tower now, that will not prevent them from still coming here to do something about the tower.
Do you suggest that we wait here until they come back? try and get the drop on them.
That seems like that may take quite a long time. If we had a way
extremely
to provoke them, perhaps?
Yes, maybe. I suspect that the sight of our ship might cause them to play on the side of caution if they were to return. But we can't really do anything about that. Yes, we
Blow
could
up
try
the
and
ship.
lure them. What was that?
We'll blow up the ship.
It's so crazy that it just might work.
And that's how we found Bjorn again.
Yeah. We could provoke them somehow.
How do we provoke them?
Well, one thing at a time.
I'm unsure if we can find where they are, or somehow send a message to them.
I mean, we could probably find them or know their, well, approximate location. And we could send them a message, but it's just a matter of convincing them to come here, because there's really no pretense in which they would agree to meet with us on our own terms, I think. After having killed one of them.
There's bad blood in the water already. That seems simple enough. Then you boast about it and you goad them.
Talbot is quite
We
prideful.
found another tower. We're gonna blow this shit sky high, dumbass. Does that work?
The tower
Might be
reveals
too
our
obvious.
intentions.
Well, what do we know about them? About them could we exploit? Talvin is what, very prideful? We could play to that.
Yeah. We killed your fucking friend, Minotaur bitch. He's dead, dumbass.
Lucian, don't use that kind of language at a proper dinner like this.
This is all out of character, more or less.
And then
Yeah, 'cause
It's
Rain
hard to
is
tell with you.
Rain is the one who actually follows Aeroth, correct? The one who's been blessed.
Yeah. I mean, so is Talbot, but yeah.
Well, Rain seems a little bit more zealous, which is something we could play toward.
Yeah. Rain's just a cunt.
His name is literally Rain.
Mm-hmm.
God of Storms? I don't know. Seems like he's
Almost
really
a
into
Water
it.
Genasi.
Hey, Michael, is Rain the one that tried to sleep with me, or no?
No, that was Calvin.
Talbot, sorry.
Yeah, Talbot's the womanizer.
That's just true.
If I ever lied to you, come on.
Can I memory check
I'm about to say,
this?
at that, Lambert just slowly
Yeah,
turns
that.
and stares you dead in the eye.
Don't answer that.
He's probably lied at least in the current group.
Lucian has lied before.
You were only
That's the
supposed to get
least-
the shield.
Yeah,
You
but I
literally,
wanted the other stuff.
you literally grabbed everything but the damn shield.
Okay, well, listen. It was my fault that son of a bitch teleported in. That was dumb. It was stupid.
I told you explicitly, Lucian, to grab
You
the
did
shield
not.
and
I'm
everything
not
else.
listening to a word you have to say right now.
This actually happened. You can look at the tape.
The tape? What's tape got to do with this?
Quitting tapes everything dumb that we do.
Like with sticky tape?
I have a perfect memory.
No, you don't.
Have you ever looked at the ceiling of the library? It's just our adventures.
What are the names of every crewmate on our ship?
They don't have
They
names.
don't have names until we meet them.
Jeremy. The answer was Jeremy.
Quitting and
They're all
digging
named
our
Jeremy.
check.
Jeremy had a stroke 3 winters ago.
Only one of them has a name right now.
Have we only known him for like one?
Anyways.
I was thinking I could possibly contact the Doge and see if he could set up a trade deal with these people.
Yeah, I mean,
The trade deal doesn't help these people. These people have something they want. It's going to be taken from them unless the others are stopped.
We're really not here to set up trade with uncontacted tribes. That's not our job. Our job is to make maps, and our hobby is to save the world.
yeah, but we also said we would.
We told these people we would, and we're going to. I smile as the people are looking at us talk.
They want to meet the other civilizations, so we will let them.
I'm sure Maryland will be glad to share their history of.
We're not gonna tell Maryland jack shit. Just tell them.
What do you know of the mayor, Shofio, being an undergrounder?
He wasn't born there.
I am from above.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought your clutch came from below ground. My
Yes,
mistake.
they did.
Okay. So it seems like my assumption was correct.
Clutches
already
are
told us.
born underground, and then we lead a more nomadic life above ground.
So you are from the underground.
Yes.
Thank you.
But why would that mean that he can't know about Maryland?
Because, Sen, you know.
Is racist?
No, she's definitely not.
I mean, she literally walks in the shoes of other races. I don't know how she can still be.
Yeah, she loves small people. That's why she finds their dead and impersonates them. Would any of the members of your island like to come with us on our travels to see the world?
What? Stop.
I suppose maybe.
We don't
You'd have
have
to ask
room.
them.
We don't have room. We've never had less room than we do now.
Okay, first of all, we do have room.
We have more room than we had 5 days ago with the amount of goats that have been eaten.
I think we have more important things to discuss.
Yes, and I think it's important for people of the rest of the world to conglomerate on our boat so that everyone can learn to get along.
The world hangs in the balance, Sen.
We're creating unity.
Now,
Aboard.
to be fair, that is why the Cartography Guild exists. So,
It is.
in a way,
Yeah. There's that.
holy shit, is this campaign Star Trek?
Yeah. It
Yes,
kind of is.
kind of.
Wait, that means people are gonna start beating the shit out of me every time they show up to prove they're badass.
That's what they've been doing! You've died 3 times!
I'm about to say,
I
dude.
picked fucking.
At
The
this point, I
crew
think you're
doesn't have
Spock.
names! I called the crew red shirts for like 5 minutes last session
Man.
because that's literally what they are.
You're getting warped, dude.
I refuse to be a wharfdom.
Gwydion is Data.
How dare you say something
Get
entirely correct?
I mean,
Who's
do you want to be?
Dennis?
I'm about to say, do you want to be Data or do you want to be Spock, Tyler?
I guess
I wanna be
I guess Dennis
my
is
own-
Riker.
Independent character.
Who?
Dennis is Riker.
No, he's not
Who's
Riker.
Riker?
Riker is the.
Never mind, it's Lambert. It's Lambert.
Oh, okay.
See,
Yo, I'll take it.
Doesn't Riker fuck?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty fitting.
Yeah, Heinrich can't be Riker.
Riker
I think-
also
I-
sits in chairs backwards like a
Q-
cool volleyball coach.
Q was Scotty.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Q is Scotty. Yeah, that's pretty on point.
Who's Sen? I'm not gonna like the answer.
Sends
You're-
the
Deanna Troy's mother.
No. You are that changeling guy that's in Deep Space Nine.
Oh no.
No. Anyway, that was just big tangent because of a minor crisis after a realization.
I think we're tangenting because we don't know what to do here.
I think we need to start writing down first contact
A little
rules in a
bit.
book or something for the Cartography Guild. Wait, does Cartography Guild have first contact rules?
First contact
We
rule,
do now.
adopt.
That's what I've done.
That's all
It's
we've been
worked.
doing is
If-
adopting random races.
If cannot adopt, then kill.
Tyler, you were
Genocide
there
it
with
is,
me for the
boys.
first adoption.
No, I'm sorry. I want to stay with my family. I don't want to join your.
You die.
Bitch!
Our first adoption was because I was told to murder someone, and I didn't want to go through with it, and I dragged you along with me, and we took him on the boat.
If cannot kill, then adopt. It's cyclical. It's
Then abduct.
disgusting.
No, it's the way of life.
At around this point, Haras tells you to enjoy your feast, and tells you that you'll speak more on this tomorrow, of sober mind.
I love this mashed root vegetable. We don't have anything like this where we come from.
You know what?
You mean a gourd? That's not root vegetable. I
Oh,
lied to
it's
you.
taro that we're eating.
You know, as we're sitting here just
Sure.
enjoying our meals, I kind of want to listen in. I mean, have I heard the Kuatoas speak yet? Do they speak the same language as the Dragonborns?
You have heard some of the Kuatoa speak to each other. They do not seem to be speaking Ardovan. Which doesn't mean that they don't speak Ardovan, because they are issued orders in Ardovan,
Right.
but they apparently speak some other language, primarily,
And chances
amongst their own people.
are, like the Dragonborn, is going to be a language we're not going to know because it developed solely on this island. Okay.
I mean, what language do you know? What languages do you know? I mean, I'll just look it up.
I'll say none that
Easier.
are helpful: Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant, Goblin.
You do not speak the language that they speak.
Michael, do I see Lambert like watching people trying to like hear them?
I mean, yeah, probably.
I'm not
Okay.
exactly being subtle about it.
At some point, I'm gonna like cough and like, and I'm gonna like drop a fork or whatever utensil I have, and I'm gonna like reach under the table and I'm gonna like poke Lambert and I'm gonna cast tongues on him.
I immediately jump and bang the table.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did my knife hit you?
You know, a little bit of warning won't kill you.
I'm sorry.
And now that I can understand Kuatoa,
You hear a few of them talking like, you know, this guy told me to, and told us to get this dish ready, things like that.
right? Basic serving orders.
Roll a perception check.
Can do. I'm actually proficient.
If
Okay.
they're slaves, then we kill.
I mean, they're slaves by choice. Yeah, jack shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all that you kind of get out of it. Is a lot of, I mean, especially like where you're sitting, you're kind of the guests of honor, so you're sort of centralized, and like there's a lot of like, it's like noisy as well, so you don't get a lot of secrets being spoken.
Do they seem happy, Michael?
Make an insight check.
Have you
I'll
ever been
make
happy on the job?
It's only an 11.
I would say they look like fish.
Like
Fish
it.
aren't extraordinarily expressive.
Okay.
They are not known to look happy.
Okay.
Actually, to that point,
Fish generally
Like-
look pensive in my experience.
yeah, they sort of look stressed out all the time. So, Lucian, you see, like, as you're like sort of looking around, the people that you were, well, the Kuotoa that you were watching, they're like walking over to this massive keg that's it's sort of like just a table over, and you can see like they're like struggling to lift up this massive thing and like replace it.
I'm gonna go help them.
I mean, yeah, you're strong. You lift things good. So I mean, you just like immediately, like you just kind of like almost like one-handed. You just like pick it up and put it where it needs to go, and the fish folk bow their heads towards you in thanks. It's at about this point where you see sort of watching you from a distance, and an older Kuotoa man with like these long tendrils coming down from his jaw and jowls, leaning up against a staff, and he nods his head towards you, lifts up his hand as if to draw attention to it, and places a piece of paper on the ground before disappearing behind some buildings.
Okay. I'll go pick up the paper.
You sort of like, nonchalantly just kind of go over there, grab a piece of paper. Looks like a jumble of symbols to you. You don't understand the language, of course. But aside from just written language, you also notice that there's a rudimentary map etched out onto the page, seeming to depict a small village north of the town proper.
Okay. I'm gonna go back and sit down, and I'm gonna assume that Gwydion is on my left. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Gwydion, do you have the thing where you can interpret writing this specifically this?"
In fact, I do. Just give me 10 minutes.
Okay, let's wait until we're somewhere where it wouldn't be obvious that we're casting magic.
Yeah, Gwydion has just a spoonful of salt in the ready. He's like, "Oh, okay." He just puts it back.
Yeah, we'll just wait until people get asleep and we can find somewhere quiet to read that, or just find somewhere quiet.
I mean, you could definitely find somewhere quiet. I mean, the feast could be going on for a couple hours still. You could also retire early if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just want to find somewhere quiet so that it's not like, "Hey, why are those casting magic in the middle of our hall? Oh, what's this paper? Oh, you motherfucker."
It's not that hard to find a place without too many people. Go on just sort of the outskirts of the main square, even. A majority of the people are very loudly being in the main square as a matter of point. They don't have these sorts of things very often, so they're all kind of enjoying it. So you guys can kind of walk off for a little bit, get to a place where you're probably not going to be interrupted, and you can cast the spell. So in addition to just the map, which is a map, the words written on it translate to meet in our village when the first moon is at its highest. Make sure the dragon folk do not follow you.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to go.
I mean,
it would be helpful if perhaps Leora would come for language purposes.
Do you make this known to the rest of the party?
Yeah, I mean, probably just I wouldn't say anything explicitly, but hey, there's this village north of here I want to go explore, But I'm giving you the signal,
So, Michael, what kind of music do they have at this feast?
Not hurdy-gurdy. All the hurdy-gurdy parts are not in these songs. It's weird.
That's interesting.
It's almost like you're the only person with hurdy-gurdy.
It could be pertinent for me to liven up this party with a bit of a shanty or two.
Oh no.
You might be right, friend.
I'm gonna wait until I see Gwydion, because Gwydion and Lucian have not a subtle bone in either of their bodies. When I see them rush off to the bathroom together. Lambert, I believe it's time for us to make a distraction.
Oh, fuck. What do you want me to do?
Now, how's your tenor?
Shit.
Well, it's either you, Snake Man, or Spider Man. These are my options.
Do we hear this?
Fuck.
I'm whispering to
Say
Lambert.
it
Oh,
right
okay.
in front.
If your perception's high enough, then probably.
I doubt it.
Alright.
Attention all.
Oh no.
Ting, 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 ting.
Like some of the a majority of the people sort of stop and like look over towards you. Like the music stops and such.
My group of adventurers and I appreciate the hospitality that has been shown. And we are very excited for the trade deals that will happen. And we want to share with you a bit of music from where we are from.
I don't think anyone understands you.
Not a one. But they all look
Sounds good.
over toward you.
I speak out because I'm pretty sure I'm still under the effect of tongues and basically just
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and just say what she just said.
And then I'm going to do a very heavy strum across my hurdy-gurdy. And then I'm just going to go at it fast and wild.
I would like both you and Lambert to make me a performance check.
Oh, god damn it, I hate you, Nathan.
I'm going to inspire Lambert.
That's good to know.
Okay.
At least you're inspired.
And apparently
Holy
excellent.
shit!
I literally
Hidden
just bust
talent.
out an old freaking like drinking song. That
So
used to sing
you
at
know
my
how whenever you get like you're at like karaoke or some shit and you're plastered and like for some reason your singing voice is better than it is when you're like sober and like not tired as hell.
Yes.
That's where Lambert is.
Gather round, ye lads and lasses, sit ye for a while, and hearken to me a mournful tale about the Emerald Isles. That's all.
And they
Soften.
actually understand,
My god, they do.
which is great. So, if that is what ends up happening, as like Gwydion and Lucian are sort of like looking their way back, it seems that Sen and Lambert are still just riding on the wave of this, this new performing act that they've developed together in secret.
Well, it's a secret to me too, so.
I wasn't planning this. This just happened.
No
Ophio,
kidding.
Heinrich.
Lord.
I'm gonna whisper to Ophio and Heinrich over my hurdy-gurdy, which is very, very, very loud. I need
You can cast message while playing.
No, because I have to point a finger at them, and you can't do that
Hey,
while playing hurdy-gurdy.
Guess fucking what? You're playing it's technically an arcane focus. You're fine.
This is true.
Okay, I'll do a cool lean, and point a finger gun
Yeah,
at
you'll
them.
you'll point the hurdy-gurdy toward them while you're playing.
And I'm gonna do a finger gun, and I'm gonna say, I need you guys to bang along silverware to what we're doing.
Oh my god.
It has to be metal silverware.
Damn, that's fucking
Oh.
mess.
That's metal. I can try. I just take the jar of pickled tentacles and just take a spoon and just start playing on that.
Oh jeez. All right. I guess the two of you roll me performance checks.
Yeah, I think Ophio's like most the way to food coma, so he's just like super half-heartedly doing whatever.
I mean, if you want to roll with disadvantage, you can. I'm not gonna make you though.
I'm singing about drinking.
He's
if that
not
helps.
performing, so I'm not gonna roll.
He's not performing. Nah, I'm good.
I choose to fail.
The call of adventure called for Ophio, and Ophio said no.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think he's super drunk and completely full of food.
yeah.
Honestly, so is everyone watching, so it's probably fine.
It's
It
dinner,
seems
you know?
that your
Ophia has
companion-
big dinners.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Are you gonna give him a meat gift afterwards, Ophio?
It's only
Maybe if
if I'm a little drunker.
If I need to like get something from them, probably.
Okay.
In any case, it seems that a major distraction has been set for you or something. I don't know what her plan with this is.
She's just having fun.
Okay.
Is everyone enjoying it? It seems like.
Oh yeah, I mean they're all into it. It's very different, very new. A hurdy-gurdy is not something that is played in the Esterisles often, to be sure. So, whether or not it's traditional by Esterisle standards is questionable. But either way, if nothing else, it was very novel in that, in this sort of era that we live in, that is better than good. Novel more than good, usually.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' plan for this meeting?
Well, I want to potentially bring Biora to cast tongues on me, possibly. I don't know if we're all going to go, or if only some of us want to go, or, how that's going to work.
Are you referring to her as Leora in front of the rest of us? Just for
her name is
Matthew's
Sen.
sake?
Her name is Sen. I'm not trying to refer to her as Leora, no.
Okay, cool, because I was going to have a thing if you were.
No, it just slipped my mind entirely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine.
Don't give Matthew the chance to have a thing. Excuse me.
But yeah, I mean, I figure we don't want to be seen, so, I can't really do anything about that, but maybe someone else can.
So, are they providing us lodging, or is it expected that we're going to go back to the boat?
Did offer Ross offered a stay at his place, basically. So there's rooms available.
Okay. Is there any sort of guard detail that we notice, or people just kind of like is this a pretty normal place? Like people just go to bed?
You do notice that there are a few of the Ardovan Guard sort of hanging around. Not very many in the town square, maybe one or two. But as you're sort of getting closer to Haras's place, there is another couple outside of his door.
So, if there's anything that can help us sort of sneakily get to this village,
The distraction. Everybody's distracted and drunk.
Everybody is currently distracted and drunk, that's true.
Advantage on stealth, because they have disadvantage on perception.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
So, what's the plan,
Am I
Lucian?
wrong?
I mean, my plan is to just sort of walk down towards the beach and take that path upwards.
No, I feel Michael's rolling the dice. Oh boy. So are you
I don't
just
know.
doing this like during the party? Afterwards?
Well, this
What's
is
up?
the village.
I thought he said there was like a northern part of the village. Did you mean?
So this is where you guys are. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is where you guys are. There's this little. It's just this place.
You're
Yeah.
taking the reins here. Just let me know what you want.
And we're going here?
Yeah.
Is where the map points to? Okay.
Yeah. You're probably like closer to here, but yeah.
Like I don't know if the whole party wants to come along or if I should just slip away.
Let's all go.
Okay. Then I figure we take either a direct route or go up by the river, you know. I don't know. Looking for input here.
I mean,
Okay,
honestly, I think we just get the party into such an upswing that everyone's still kind of celebrating by the time we kind of meander off and no one really is the wiser.
Alright, okay. Works for me.
So are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are we just going?
I do not want to be followed.
So in my mind, I mean, it seems like it's kind of Lucian's adventure, but in my mind, I feel like we'd wait like 30 minutes an hour after going to bed, and then we try to sneak out.
Because we need to go... Basically at midnight is when I'm told to be there.
Give or take, yeah.
Like, yeah, we could head out like 11:30, 11:40-ish. I'm sure one of us has a sundial.
For night?
Yeah, night dial.
So a moon
Sundials
dial.
work at night. Yeah, sundials still work at night. Everyone
No,
knows
they
that.
don't. It's 2 moons.
They don't.
It still would work with 2 moons.
And it's,
It'd work
it's-
even better with 2 moons. You'd have more accurate
They
reading.
aren't in the same exact orbit, so like it's really you end up getting some really janky shapes. They don't
Yeah,
work
you
as
can
well.
get some super cool shadows. It'll work.
I mean, you get some cool shadows,
Oh,
but
man.
it's
Yeah,
janky.
If you can get shadows, you can get timekeeping.
This moon dial looks really cool. I wonder what the fuck it means.
Imagine how different their
One-
movies are going to be compared to ours when they develop
What do
that
you
technology.
mean?
Okay, listen, we're going to the place. We're trying not to be followed.
Okay, so are you going after you try to after you go to bed? Maybe
As long as
Or-
we'll be on time. Yes.
Yeah, I mean you can do that and still be on time,
Okay.
no problem.
Alright.
Okay, well in that case, Haras, brings you guys to his place and gets it set up. You're all in individual rooms. They're pretty nice. You don't know why this guy just has 6 spare rooms. It seems to be a thing that a lot of the houses are bigger than what holds them. Maybe future planning for kids or something, but it's who knows. You guys wait for a while, and then in around the time that it's time to go, you start to kind of open the door into the interior hallway and sort of look around, and you do find that there are guards posted. 2 at the end of the hall and another 3 across the hall, sort of in between. Every 2 of your rooms, there's another guard there, sort of standing.
Why do they have guards if there's nobody to fight with?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Better question.
Question.
Do our rooms have windows?
They do. Looking out of the windows, there are some guards sort of patrolling around, but you don't feel. I mean, you guys got into a fucking Imperial armory, so how hard could this be?
I mean, really.
I want to say that's the bad example. I think the good example is the Mind Flayer fortress, because we kind of caused
That's
two really
fair.
big explosions at the armory.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that here, definitely you'll be fine.
I think we still have a keg.
You has the keg. I don't.
Q has the rest of the gunpowder. You just
Oh, that's
don't.
gonna go over well.
He's just gone though, and he took it with him.
He's
so
just gone.
You're out of black powder as it happens.
You know, maybe we'll go in his room and the keg of black powder will just be on the bed. Who knows?
No,
No.
Oh,
So
I know
we'll
where the
let-
keg is.
you checked.
Is it up his asshole?
Yeah,
no,
the rest
it's
of
in
the shit.
his
the
bag
bag
of holding
holding.
next to him.
Yeah. Tinking away with a bag of black powder in a transdimensional space.
Q's busy.
Yeah, he's doing shit.
Is he dying?
I mean, like, in the sense that everyone is.
Especially someone
He's
with the amount of
missing
heart
a
murmurs he
Piece of
has.
his soul.
Yeah, he's missing pieces of his soul. That's not good.
The only person.
Okay,
Aren't we
okay.
all?
Do we have a
Michael,
way out of here?
set me a scene. What are my options here?
Okay, so inside the rooms themselves, there are like your guys are up on a second floor, probably about 10 or 15 feet above ground level. There are occasional guards passing by, sort of just like taking a perimeter of the mansion. They pass by the window every maybe 20 minutes or so. But you guys are in a corner, so like you guys should probably be fine if you leave just before, like just after.
Right. So we have a pretty wide window to get out.
About 20 minutes or so ish.
Okay.
But as soon as they come around the corner, they would be able to see if you time it wrong.
Right.
Any
Outside,
places for cover? Like tall grass or places to duck behind?
there are bushes immediately planted about 3 or so feet away from the mansion. Each themselves, like, yeah, I mean, it's sort of like a nice decorative hedge. And obviously, like in the interior hallway outside of your doors, there are just a bunch of guards. They don't look particularly like too strong. They do wear some pretty heavy armor, but they only really have like some like shields and spears, and a couple of them have pikes, but nothing too incredible.
Okay.
We don't need to hurt anyone here. We just get out.
So are you planning on how are you planning to exit the windows? Just straight falling, or
I mean, if we all jump out, I can just cast Featherfall on us.
fuck, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan to me. You all open up the windows, and like once you know that like Lucian's like ready to cast the spell, you guys tumble out, featherfall, land on the interior side of the hedge of the hedges around the place.
Mhm.
If you guys could just make me a stealth check with advantage.
I am realizing that Ophio is immune to the poisoned condition, so he
He
can't
can't
get
get
drunk.
That's funny.
That's
The
great.
Scratch's dilemma.
Huh.
There was this one thing he enjoyed and he lost it.
Well, he never could. That's just racial.
Yeah, never.
No, I'm talking about
existed.
scratches.
Oh shit, wait. Do I still have
RIP.
inspiration?
It doesn't.
It lasts
It probably
10 minutes.
hasn't lasted.
Ah,
It
damn.
probably hasn't lasted. You had advantage, so 16 is still pretty good.
Yeah.
I need one from Sen.
Oh shit!
Okay.
I am wind.
Something like that. You're definitely full of hot air.
Ah.
Oh me?
Yeah. Okay, I see what happened here. So, yeah. So with that, you guys start making your way toward the northern edge of town. You manage to get by without any interference. You do notice that along the outskirts of the town itself, there are a few patrolling guards, especially along the northern side. But you manage to sneak past them. They don't really seem that they're great. Mostly a deterrent, perhaps. Whenever you guys get there, you find that it's a much smaller, more ramshackled village. That's just sort of like half constructed, even. This along the riverbank. This seems to be where the Kuatoa live. Judging by the bonfire with a few dozen fish folk dancing around it and enjoying themselves to the best of their ability late into the night. When you step into the village proper, and the fish folk notice, the dancing stops and everything falls silent as the mass begins to kneel before you.
Sen, can you tongue with me, please?
Sorry, I'm having a sneeze attack. Yeah, I'll tongue you.
Thank you.
You're
Crazy.
welcome. I raise my hands and I mutter, "Banana, banana, banana," and I cast tongues on you.
Why banana?
Vocal exercise.
I'll be right back.
Out from a nearby hut comes the old man that Lucian had seen at the feast. He's using his staff as a walking stick to travel over toward the fire.
I knew it.
You knew it?
It's okay. Go on.
He did know it. Okay. He approaches you and sort of does like a half, like a bow toward you all.
I'll bow back. That's respectful. That's etiquette.
I kiss him on the top of the head.
This isn't France.
Okay, I'm back. What totally normal and not weird thing happened?
I really wish it was anything like that.
I guess I'll just ask, why have you led me here tonight? Or us, that is.
Because you are our salvation. You guys noticed that whenever he spoke, everyone understood, despite it being a different language.
Oh, thank God.
We're both tongues. Okay.
Yeah, you both have tongues.
Alright.
Just true. The old man sits on a log by the fire and holds out his hand. Sit.
I'll sit.
I could go over. Welcome to our village, Stormblood and companions. We will treat you like our own here. You are our honored guests.
Stormblood.
I
Man.
just point at Lucian.
Yeah,
And
Storm
why is that?
Goliath. Yeah.
That last part you said, Nathan?
Is there something special about this man? I say to the person who addressed Lucian.
Indeed. We can feel the presence of the god in the tower within you. Your arrival here is a sign.
Oh, fuck.
It is true. I am, I suppose, blessed by the god Aeroth.
Indeed. I overheard the Dragon Elder tell you their origin for this island, but it is incomplete.
Go on.
Sodenak did not create this island. It has been here since before. And on it, always that tower. Their
We're losing
dragon.
you. Oh, you're
What?
back.
No, you're not. You're not losing me. Stop it. Here, I'll turn up the gain. That was probably just being quiet because I got raspy.
Okay.
Might help.
Maybe. Their dragon god came to live here as we did, and we truly did live in harmony for many generations. What they did not tell you is that it was not one lost dragonkin that led to the death of their god, but the arrival of a dozen of their kind, ready to make our kind sacrifices to him. At this point, you can kind of see in the fire as the fish folk man begins to like wave his hands. You begin to see shapes move, forming a horde of dragonborn coming into a village with spears in hand. I would describe for you the entire scene, but just imagine that everything I say is being depicted in the fire, because
I will imagine
that's what's happening.
You don't have like a battle map with characters and stuff for us to visually see?
I have plenty of battle maps. Trust me.
Oh, okay, cool.
They came into our homes, killed many of us. But there were some who escaped, running up the mountain until they came to hide in the tower. Sodenak would not be satisfied until we were all dead, for he feared us and our god. So he came to the tower himself to finally bring his thunderous roar upon it and claim this island solely for himself. It was there, in the tower, however, that we found a gift left to us by the god of the tower. A bow. We used that bow and shot down the dragon, and when the arrow hit his scales, he immediately began to drown. Understanding the power of the bow, we left it in the tower, for it had a greater purpose than what we would achieve. We thought it was enough that their god had died, but this doubled their anger toward us. They came once more, they killed us once more. And those that survived were wreathed in chains and took as slaves for their kind.
So it's as bad as I thought it was.
Naturally. Wonderful.
Indeed.
Shit.
So what is it that you need us to do?
When the last visitors came, we felt the presence of the god of the tower within them. We thought perhaps the time had come for our kind to rebel, but I said that we wait. And now, on the eve of our intended revolt, another visitor arrives, touched by our god. It is no coincidence. Stormblood, your arrival here is a sign. And now we ask you with humility, will you help us fight for our freedom?
Man.
Oh no.
Fuck.
This is like doubly difficult for Lucian here.
No, why I did it.
I feel like it's pretty easy.
This was literally the one scene that I had in mind from the beginning of the campaign before Lucian's whole shit.
Damn. All right. Okay.
How, quick question for reference. How many Kuo-toa does it seem are here?
Quick count. Something in the range of maybe 200 to 300.
Okay. Our boat's not going to fit that many people.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
No.
Okay.
Oh my god, I love
Okay.
him.
They're aquatic.
Yeah,
What, you
just
mean they
chain
can
up.
swim?
Just tie them to the back of the boat and just.
We
Huh.
won't chain them, we'll voluntarily tie them.
Okay.
Hold on.
Wait,
I have.
can't they just go in the ocean? Who's stopping them? Are the fucking Dragonborn gonna follow them? They can't breathe underwater, can they?
Do you want to live in the ocean?
No, but I'm not a fish person.
You literally are blue.
Okay.
Like,
What?
I
my,
got. I have a
my,
few
like,
questions.
my initial instinct is we move them to a different island.
Easy.
They're not.
We put them on Dragon Island.
Oh god.
Maybe not
all
that
right.
one.
Before I pledge to help you, I have a few questions I need answered.
Very well. Go on.
Your god, Aroth, is his name in my tongue. There's a prophecy, and he's trying to come back into this world. Now that raises a few problems for me, because he would destroy this world. I don't see your people necessarily fulfilling that prophecy, so as far as I'm concerned, that's not an issue. But I also want to know how you feel about that.
We do not know of this prophecy.
Lucian, you should recite the prophecy to them verbatim.
That sounds like... well, okay. That tower does serve a bigger purpose, and that bow does as well. It's a seal that keeps Aroth from entering this plane again. So, if we fight for your freedom, I want to have your assurance that we can keep that from happening. We can keep that seal from being broken.
We know nothing of this seal that you speak. We
Okay.
simply wish to live on this island as equals.
I don't think he's lying to me, so I think that's all I really need to hear.
Lucian, how do they see themselves becoming equals with the others on the island?
Well, I mean, I don't know what their plan is, but I think the best plan is to declare it directly, and anyone who has a problem with it can fight me.
We believe that they are not going to, if we use only words. We have prepared things, stolen stores of their wines and spirits. We are preparing an attack tomorrow, just before dawn. It is unpreferable, but they will not listen otherwise.
Okay, I don't want there to be needless bloodshed, is the problem there.
It
So-
is not needless, I assure you.
Okay. What if you get ready to do your whole thing, and we will try to use words. If it doesn't work, we'll give you a signal, and then what needs to be done can be done.
Make a persuasion check.
I will make a persuasion check. I'm bad at these. That's a 1.
You do not live with these people as we do. If we refuse to work, they will strike us down. And if you do give us the signal, we will be far enough away from our supplies, we will be unable to overpower them.
Man, this is fucking problematic, Michael.
Lucian,
I'm afraid-
the people that rule this island, their kind words and generosity have only been funded by the hard labor of these people. We need to do something to help them.
Great, fine. Military targets only. I don't want any dead innocents.
How many Dragonborn are there?
Something along the line of like 150, 200 of them.
We know that some of them have magic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Presumably not many, though.
And how many of them are currently in the big house that we just left?
The big house that you just left? There's probably like a dozen or so.
Interesting, interesting.
All right, here's
What
the plan.
material is the house made of?
Wood.
Interesting, interesting.
Oh no.
They have carpets. They have curtains, even.
I mean, we can do that, or we could do
They have-
another big feast tomorrow and just poison them all.
They have sawdust everywhere.
All of them.
They have buckets of sawdust outside of every room.
If there's going to be an attack, I only want, military targets. People with weapons, people who are going to try to kill you to be killed. I don't want, innocent people who have nothing to do with that as much as that,
That is intention. We start with the fields.
The fields. The farms?
Yes. Burn the crops. Without them, they will. They'll be fine. It's more of a.
Insight check that.
Hey, Michael,
Yeah,
have
go
you
ahead.
read up on the Haitian Revolution?
No, I have not.
Okay, I'm just getting a couple of familiar vibes.
Good. Frankly.
First, we're gonna
Hey.
burn the fields, then we're gonna surround the cities.
We'll leave enough of the crops alone so that they won't starve or anything. But it is a much needed declaration that we are no longer to work them.
Alright.
Now, didn't the leader back there say that the Kuatoa could simply declare when they believed they no longer thought they deserved to be in indentured servitude? Or was that just a fabrication?
We're
They
getting
also
to
assume that we are under indentured servitude. We are only so
Right.
indentured as the chains they wrap around our necks.
Well, very strange that he would tell such an easily disprovable lie. But I guess he didn't expect us to go out at night and conspire.
And no one insight checked him, so.
I thought about it. I was, whatever. We
Yeah, I
could
mean,
we could work with them, but pretend to not work with them and see what info we can continue to glean from the Dragonborn. Bit of a double agent.
By the time you would get any information, we hope that this rebellion will be over.
They sound to have it quite underhand, really. The only thing we could do, perhaps, is deliver the leaders into a place together for conversation to avoid bloodshed. Otherwise,
yes, I do prefer the route of diplomacy.
If you have this so planned out, then I'm still not entirely sure why we're needed.
We were going to do this either way. It would just be easier with others more.
Can I insight check this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Insight check that more people make something easier.
Right?
More people does make something easier. He did say earlier that it was a sign that Lucian arrived the day before their planned assault.
Yeah, I know. Just the way this guy talks, I feel like there's something he's not telling me. But I guess he's all
Something
good.
seems fishy, you could say?
That's insensitive, Tyler. Come on.
Go fuck yourself. That insensitive?
I can't.
Fucking got him.
God damn it, Michael. Why would you
Yeah.
do this?
So, okay,
He's
let's
DM.
just kidnap both sides of the leadership, get them in a room together, get them talking,
Give him a kiss.
babysit them for a minute to see if, we can resolve this without bloodshed. And if we can't, then maybe it's time for new leadership.
No, I think we burned some crops.
By the time that we approach any sort of diplomacy, they will have already slaughtered us.
Hey, okay, you say that.
Wait, why?
You're okay.
They will not wish
Michael,
to change
Michael.
the way things are.
Michael.
Yeah.
As I'm scanning this crowd of Kuatoa, do I see any marks that would indicate that they've been mistreated physically? Or that they
Yeah.
would have any reason to fear that? Yes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're covered in scars. Some of them are missing eyes and shit. They've been fucked up.
This feels pretty obvious.
Okay.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
no.
they also worship an elder god that's specifically to come back relatively soon. So obvious is a little bit of a loaded term, I feel.
Either way, we can't just leave this island alone, because, okay, we figure out what's going on with the slavery, right? Slaves win, masters win, whatever. Those other jackasses on the other boat are still going to come back and try to unleash Aroth, no matter what we do. And like,
Sukatoa.
I almost did it.
He copied me. He copied me.
Yeah. The multi-eyed, god of storms and things. Yeah, like, so they're still gonna come back and try to dick with the shrine, and if the people say no, they're just gonna be like, oh, fuck you, and they're gonna kill them. So like,
Yeah.
the slavery thing is fun and all, but like,
I don't know if I'd call it fun.
we're gonna have to do more stuff afterwards.
As
Here's
the
my
leader
opinion.
of the Sensational Seven, I would just like to say we do not condone slavery. Wait.
Here,
Yes.
I have to
think-
check.
the outcome of this is, I don't want to say it's unimportant, but I don't think they're going to try to actively bring back their bullshit god. I think, even if they're here, we still need to find a way to defend the island anyways, and to stop the seal from being activated. These guys being here, they're clearly weak as shit, so I'm not super worried about that. So let's just free the slaves. That's how I feel.
I agree.
All right. Plan
You
C.
could always-
Plan C. You ready?
Nope.
Nothing echoing
Plan
again.
B.
We offer to take the Dragonborn to an island where there's a dragon that's alive.
Oh God, no.
First of all, Ophio doesn't know that. Second of all, horrible
don't.
fucking idea. That dragon's gonna kill everyone.
No, I explicitly talked about it in front of Ophio.
Oh my god.
True.
Yeah,
dragon-
the island that must not be named has been talked about.
Now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Is there a
brilliant.
idea.
Literally kill everyone.
if we helped you, is it possible that we could look in the temple after this is all over?
Of course. I assume that you would be making your way there as well. After all, the previous visitors made a visit.
That's it. We take the bow. They can't perform the sacrifice
Hey.
without the bow.
Hey, Kale, take the bow? There's no bow there still.
Yeah, there is. They left it there.
No, there's not gonna be a bow there, buddy.
I mean, he just told you that Talvin and crew already went up there,
Oh, did he?
and
Dragon
you
bow.
do know about
Then they did take it.
Rain's cool bow.
Cool bow. Alright, never mind.
Yeah, they
Shit.
have it.
Oh, okay. Well, we're too late then. We
What?
should go somewhere else.
Why do I get?
Let
why
these
do I
people
get
do
that
their own
feeling that
thing.
bow is the only thing that I get the feeling that bow is the only thing that can kill you, Lucian.
I guess there's only one way to find out. And I drop my form and I become Ren.
Whoa, that's crazy.
You don't have the bow.
Yeah. If I planned that, it would have been. You would have freaked out.
Ring, locket,
Yeah.
bow, shield.
Okay, so do we even need to go to this tower anymore? Was there a sacrifice performed already? There wasn't. There's no beacon of light. We can still blow it up.
We
You
should-
can
we
still blow it up. That's
we should
true.
still yes, we do need to check it out still. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about blowing it up. We would never blow up a sacred place and then smile.
Okay, let's free the slaves, then we'll explore the tower and figure out what to do from there.
And then we'll blow it up.
Sure. Can we go back now?
Now, is
Or
this
do we
like
have
the
to sleep here?
Galapagos? Are there weird animals here for Ophio to take?
Oh fuck.
Oh, thank you.
They have to be weird, yeah.
I mean, you can go back. You can sleep here. It's up to you guys.
We're going back.
Are we in agreement as for the slaves situation?
Yeah. What is the plan before you head back?
We let them fend for themselves because they've got it covered.
I'm going to help
Um,
them.
Now, here is another thing. You guys are already outside of the village.
We can burn things right now.
I mean, who's going to stop you from going up to the tower presently?
Especially as there's like a giant distraction going on.
I was going to say that once we got away from these people.
I was thinking that. I was thinking it might be a good idea.
God, that's Lucian's fucking conflicted as far as that goes.
We'll have you help set fires, it's fine.
I mean, would it make you feel better if we just like walk into town, take out the leader, execute him in front of everybody, let the Kukatoa do the thing?
Like, Michael, is it okay to split the party? Because Lucian's going to go free the slaves.
Jesus.
I think we can
rather-
just check the tower out the day after.
Yeah, I mean, if we win with the slaves, then
Yeah,
they don't
like,
seem to care.
You can, you know, if you go and help the slaves, you can, and like, it gets the same problem is out of the way. But you know, just in case the entire party was like, I don't know about either way. A third option is, fuck it, we're already outside of the thing, and it looks like they're not going to give a shit about us coming back anyway. So
That's why I asked
you know.
That's why I asked the Kukatoa if they would care if we went to the tower.
Kukatoa.
Right.
It's like, I feel like this is a very
Jesus.
character-defining Lucian thing.
Yeah. I had planned this before. You had this whole thing about a character who can't die, and then also used to be a slave, and I was just like, yeah, okay.
Bullshit, by the way.
That's good. That's gonna be a weird time.
Fucking horrible.
In that
okay.
case,
So we help, and how do we do so, right? Do we just add support where necessary? And take
Maybe-
slaves or meat gifts? No, hostages.
I don't like that you have three terms for that.
No terms there apply, I think, here. What I was gonna say was we could use our mighty powers to prevent, you know, just ensure that the destruction stays contained to property and not to life. Like, if anyone tries to start like an actual bloodshed type fight, we just keep them separated, you know, however we can.
Right.
Civilians safe.
Give people the chance to surrender without a fight. If they resist, knock them unconscious, and then
Give the
I don't know.
leaders the chance to talk face to face, and if either side tries anything, then that's the sound of an explosion. Because I make one.
yeah, because I can cast fireball.
Or just like Wall of Force can really get the job done there.
Yeah.
I have an
Can't touch each other
idea.
anymore. Yeah.
oh no.
Oh no, this is brilliant. Oh fuck.
Then why do you have to preface it with "Oh no"?
And
Because
fuck.
I know my brain. So here are my musings. A lot of us are good at disguising ourselves. We can just look like guards, walk up to the main dude's room, just like walk in, fucking knock him unconscious, cast invisible on him, make him hover behind us, and just walk out.
That is something in our wheelhouse.
I don't have disguise self prepared.
I've got a flute.
Like, I want to find a reason to tell you to fuck off and go die, but like, it's not the worst plan I've ever heard.
We don't even need to disguise ourselves. We're friendly.
I mean,
we
yeah,
can just walk in, be like, "Hi," bonk, turn them invisible, leave.
Why
yeah.
do you... I just want to disguise myself like other people, and you won't let me.
You can disguise yourself as Dakar.
Normal people
Speaking
can't
of
do
Dakar,
that.
where the fuck is Dakar? Oh god,
Back
where's
on the
Dakar?
Back on the ship.
He
Oh,
probably
just
had a
went
great
home?
time at the
Okay,
feast,
that's
though.
fine.
He wasn't invited to stay. He's a red shirt.
I feel like negotiations will be easier if both sides are in the positions where they want to be, which is the not kidnapped position. I think any promises made under duress of being kidnapped may be
My
empty.
favorite one.
Why are you so defensive of slavers?
What? Don't pull this on me.
I'm not pulling anything on you, Gwydion. You're the one making me have to point this out to you.
Okay, yeah, gaslighting a fire right now.
No. I'm just trying to make sure that negotiations go smoothly, and they won't go smoothly if we have to resort to kidnapping.
I mean, I guess that's kind of true.
I think we're
It's
kind
not
of
like
don't
we're
really-
literally capturing a child.
past the point where there's going to be a friendly version of any of the outcomes.
Yes, maybe not a friendly version, but at least an honest version? An honest slave rebellion.
Yeah.
Not a cloak and dagger one.
Lucian, or not Lucian, I'm sorry, Gwydion, where did your family get its money from?
Adventuring. My grandmother
Maryland
was a
doesn't
famous
have
adventurer like
slaves.
us.
Okay.
Did you think my family were slavers?
I was just posing a question that was on everybody's mind.
No, wasn't
I don't think
on
you
my mind
wanna
at
get-
all. No.
I gave you an answer.
And I'm not going to insight check you because I trust you.
I'm on the side of freeing the slaves. I never was not on the side of that. I just think that we would be hurting our position if we had to resort to underhanded tactics, because quite frankly, freeing slaves is a very overhanded thing.
Neither of these two cultures are going to get along anytime soon. Slaves revolt. The masters are bummed. Masters are gonna kill more slaves. It's just gonna go back and forth.
What is
Let's
your
just-
people's
genocide on
Let's-
either side.
Let's do our best to avoid bloodshed. But if it comes down to it, I am not above killing some bitches.
I mean, are you
I-
ever?
I don't think that the Dragonborn, any culture really, would be willing to let themselves be completely wiped off the face of the earth and burned to ash for the sake of keeping their slaves. So, we can appeal to reason, the need to survival at the very least.
And then they'll
Yeah.
harbor a grudge for the rest of who knows how long?
We really
Oh.
need first contact rules.
Yeah.
Jesus
Lambert-
Christ.
To be
Right.
fair, it went really well whenever you met the siren people.
You should
Maybe we
draw
should
that
there's
up.
other civilizations involved in this, now that I think
should-
about it.
Draw something like that up and propose it to Cassius.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start working on that.
Is step one to get involved in their domestic affairs and
No,
murder some bitches?
there's going to be very bold lettering that specifically says, do not do that. Oh god.
Well, every precedent has to be made by someone making the wrong decision first. So, we've already
Huh.
made the wrong decision potentially. So let's
What are you
go all
talking
in.
about?
I love how we're
If
going
the-
with the fuck it, we're
president
Captain
directly
Kirk in
said
this shit option.
Listen, alright. Enough talking. Fuck it, we're doing this. How is that?
Alright,
Fuck.
I got it.
like it.
Fuck.
I got it. Ground rules,
Got it.
right? When this is all over,
This is why you're second mate, Lucian.
Kuatoa are on the south part of the island, south of the river. Dragonborn
Oh,
are on the
no.
north part of the river.
By
We'll
the
keep them
50
in separate but equal parts of the island.
Exactly.
Yeah, look, we'll have them.
That'll
them
go
divided
well.
By the 50,
Nothing that'll ever happen.
the 53rd parallel will divide them. It'll be fine.
The Kuatoa can be 3/5 of a person just to satisfy the,
We'll draw a line
And
down all
they
the
shall
public buildings.
remain separate but equal.
I'll tell you what, when we have both sides ready to concede to something, we'll sit them down and have them argue about how to split the damned island. We're just here
Yes,
to
we
make
can
sure
do the
they
arguing later.
realize that they have to share the damn thing. Oh god.
Well, if there's anyone here who can say that they have a dream, it's me.
Oh my god.
You dream about past lives, though, it's disturbing.
Exactly.
I have dreams sometimes when I die.
Ugh. Fuck.
That's even more disturbing.
Okay, so what are we doing? How are we doing this?
I don't fucking know, man.
Are we taking a break?
We're starting.
We're gonna go in
revolution.
there. We're gonna try to stop bloodshed from happening, I guess.
Uh-huh.
You know,
So we're
wherever there's
just gonna.
guard, we knock them the fuck out, and be like, hey, don't kill them. They're done. You know.
Yeah.
If they start trying to kill random unarmed people, we go, hey, fuck you. You're not doing that. Stupid.
So we're referees. We're gonna go in there with whistles, and when somebody gets too rough,
We're referees.
we're gonna throw a yellow flag at them and say no.
Oh my god.
Perfect. We are the
A yellow flag called cold person.
We're going to ensure that no
Called
war
Wall of
crimes are
Force.
committed during this peaceful rebellion.
This will
Holy
be a fair slave rebellion.
I thought you were going
Okay.
to say fait accompli.
I give it like 42 seconds before we fail this.
We might have to.
That's
Yeah.
so
Optimistic.
many rounds, Matthew.
Uh-huh.
So many rounds.
Yeah,
At
we're
this
gonna do
point,
so
I
well,
think we
and
get
then
combat.
It's 7 rounds.
Let's do it,
Wait.
Michael. We're doing it. Everyone.
Okay.
Nope, real quick. Nathan is posing this, not Sen.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
this is a bit meta.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Sen,
This is a
Sen
big
has to
decision.
spell geese.
Gaius.
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 That's
Holistic.
Oh my god. Okay. Guess. All right.
Oh
Uh-huh.
God.
Yeah.
And,
So,
you know,
I feel like that's a bit of a moral quandary.
So your
That's
why
idea is to
Nathan is posing
literally enslave the leader.
I use slavery to destroy the slavery.
I use slavery to destroy
Yeah.
slavery. That just sounds like
is
slavery
what we
with
call
extra
redemption.
steps.
this is
I-
what we call retribution, motherfucker.
I'm sorry,
goes back to
Nathan.
my
And I know you really want to use this spell, and it's a really cool spell, but I don't see that ending well.
Okay, I got
Is
it.
it-
You
is
use
it-
this on
I
both
say-
leaders, and then they are like best friends after that for the 30 days, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's great."
And then
All of our
on the
blood,
20
bloodshed, and tears for the last centuries is fine. These two are
Yeah,
happy.
Jesus.
No, here's what we do. We take both leaders back on the boat with us.
Oh God, not no.
And we have a new leader elected from the populace.
Oh my god,
Oh my
no.
You leave Dakar behind as leader.
We leave Dakar behind!
Okay.
It's the happiest
Okay,
day of
so I
Sen's
think-
life!
So I hate to say it, but I think the simplest plan, the referee plan, is probably the best plan. However, my actual question is, step 0, where are we sleeping tonight? Or are we
In the
starting it
house.
now? So we have to make our way back into the house.
Someone
so-
has a lot of spells today.
Hold on. If we start it now, the Dragonborn are probably still drunk. It might make things easier.
Oh my god.
I make the best decisions when I'm drunk.
God damn it.
You know what? I think we do it right now, tonight.
Oh
It's
shit.
close
You
to
ever had a hangover
midnight.
so bad all your slaves were gone?
Was it supposed to happen tonight, Michael? I thought it was.
In the
It's supposed
morning,
to happen
we could get started
just
early.
before dawn. Just before the sun rises.
So oddly enough, that's still very good because yeah.
It
they'll
is
still be
well
out of it.
within hangover or still drunk from last night territory.
Can we get
According
a good
to
8
my
hours
double
in?
moon dial, sure, it's about that time.
Oh my god, Mark,
Double
have
moon
you?
dial.
Can we get a good 8 hours in before then?
Why?
Then it'll literally be like 8:30 a.m.
Before that time exactly? Absolutely not. It is probably like by the time you get back to the house, it'll probably be somewhere like 1 in the morning.
Should have rolled up a high elf.
You can borrow some
Or
of
an
my
elf
spells.
period.
So we should fuck some shit up, is what I'm hearing.
I think
Look,
we need to get going.
I'm not here to
right
tell
now.
you what to do. If I want to tell you what to do, I wouldn't have posed a moral quandary.
Yeah, this is
The free
bullshit,
slaves are not free
I-
slaves.
yeah,
We
free
need to go right
cultists
now.
or not free cultists.
That are being treated like slaves.
Yeah, well, you know,
Cultists
they
who
can
are
be
our
both.
enemies.
Definitely,
They aren't mutually exclusive.
will definitely will not betray us when we try and
Never.
keep their god banished away.
Nah.
They
Terrible.
totally don't
Well,
care
you
about
just-
that.
Yeah, then we
Paris
just kill
slap.
them.
I swear to God, I
That's-
predict
Then
like
nobody
Fair.
wins.
either during
That's fair.
this or like just after we have everything settled, That's when the other crew shows up with the bow.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be like a giant smoke cloud, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, look at that! It's right over there."
All right.
It's like, gee, I
Are
wonder
we
what's
doing
causing
that
that.
Weird.
I think we have
We're
an
doing
answer.
this. We're
We're
doing.
going to the room right now, like the leader's room.
Okay.
We're also.
So,
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
yeah. Small
We're
break.
kidnapping
Small
him.
break.
Yeah. Okay. Break.
It sounds to me like a kidnapping is going to occur, but that's fine.
No.
That's not what we agreed on.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure just we're gonna assassinate everybody and
No, we're not doing that. We're good people.
Oh god, I'm gonna be.
Can I poison someone?
You really just want to do that, don't you?
Hey man,
You're
we
always-
we
you're
throw another feast. We poison all the Dragonborn. We're done.
Okay, we just go full like Ghost of Tsushima with it. I dig it.
You're gonna bring up poisoning every quest, and it's never gonna happen.
Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and mute and all that. Goddamn. Also, my apologies for the black screen earlier. I had a brief video hiccup. I do not know what the hell caused it. I'm actually gonna check a few things while we're on break, since I'm gonna have the chance. But as usual, because it's the Esterisles, because we're taking a break, I'm gonna cut the video here. So if this caught your interest, you want to see how the hell we pulled this wonderful new thing off. Oh my god, revolution. Be sure to check back for part 2. We'll see you then.